I would hate, do you know, the more I think about it, the more hats off to anybody, any single boater, because this is bloody hard. And that's there, that's been welded on and painted, so that should do the business. Hello and welcome to Narrowboat Way Island. I'm Jo and this is Duncan. Today's journey takes us from Bath to Bristol and back again towards the stunning Dundas Aqueduct. At a total of 40 miles and 26 locks, this journey took us around 3 weeks. Bath was a destination that we were both looking forward to. From the Roman baths to the Royal Crescent, it didn't disappoint. From a fabulous bookshop to a stunning Bath City Parade Gardens with an excellent floral display dedicated to Jane Austen, it is fair to say that we absolutely loved our time in Bath. This is Sally Lunn's, and it is said to be the oldest house in Bath. It is now famous for serving the Sally Lunn bun, brought to Bath in 1680. Downstairs there is a small cellar which features an ancient faggot oven and exposes the archaeological dig site which shows the history of the house, which dates back to the Roman occupation. Incredible, aren't they? What a beautiful setting to get your wedding photographs taken. Sitting here listening to that, wouldn't it?
The brass band.
Yeah, I love a good brass band.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So this is Bath Narrowboat. Now we came here yesterday to get the cleat welded on, and that has been done now. I'll show you. That's there. That's been welded on and painted, so that should do the business. Very, very lovely staff here. They didn't have room for us, but they fitted us in. And they allowed us to stay here overnight, which was brilliant because we've been plugged in for the electric for the first time in God knows how long. They run a fleet of hire boats here. I have to say though, the road up there was a little bit loud, and the seagulls, oh my God, it was screaming. Where we were the last couple of nights, we've been right by the train line, and you get the trains running, and I would rather have that than the seagulls screeching at 6 o'clock in the morning. It was incredible. So we're just about to slip and proceed, just go up a little ways to the Winding Hall Wind, and then we're going back down that way towards Bristol. I'm not looking forward to this, to be honest with you, because I've heard that there's hardly any places to moor, and if you don't moor, it's a 7-8 hour trip into Bristol, and we have to pay £60 for the privilege of getting in there because we're 58 foot and it's £3.50 a metre. So not looking forward to that, but I'll pick you up on the way and we'll see what we're doing. We've got about 6 locks to do first. We may actually just do the 6 locks and find somewhere for tonight. I don't know, we'll see. This boat to our right has moored up on the lock landing. Unfortunately, this is not an unusual sight on this canal. This is Bath Deep Lock, and it is the second deepest lock on the network at 19 feet 5 inches. The lock was originally 2 locks but was combined when the canal was restored in 1976. And just for information, the deepest lock is on the Rochdale Canal at 19 feet 8.5 inches.
So currently we are at Western Lock on the River Avon. We've come through Bath, we're nearly at the end of Bath. I think it's Bath Marina next. But this lock is a bit of a nuisance because you've got to align 2 arrows. Well, it was very difficult to do. So you've got to line the bottom gate arrows together before you fill up the lock. But as soon as you align them and you walk off the lock, they go out of place again, and there's a gap of about 2 inches, and so I had to get on the gate, physically pull them together whilst Duncan got off the boat and did the paddles, and that's the only way we could do it. And then as soon as the water come down, the arrows misaligned again, if you will, but I don't know how else to do it. I don't know. I would hate, do you know, the more I think about it, the more hats off to anybody, any single boater, because this is bloody hard, and some of the locks and just the sheer awkwardness about it. I mean, on one of the last locks on the Bath flight, there was something that was moored on the lock landing. If you're on your own, what are you meant to do? And it's luckily I was there, and we had some lockies on them locks. So we went into Bath Deep Lock, which is the second deepest lock on the system. I think something like half an inch less than the deepest one. But yeah, I'll show you these come back. I'll show you these arrows. So these are on the bottom gate. That's where we're heading. So you've got to align them. Now I don't know how exactly, whether I was just being a little bit too pedantic having them exactly aligned. But if it wasn't for Duncan, me holding these and Duncan doing the paddles, we wouldn't have been able to do it. Mad. And this is taking ages to fill up.
There was a hire boat waiting to come into this lock, which meant lots of helpers.
We had been travelling for around 6 hours by this time and still had at least another hour to go. We were very tired and very fed up. We had passed a couple of official mooring points, but all were taken, like these on the right. This is Hannam Lock. At this point you have to ring the lock keeper at the next lock so that they can operate the lock for you. From this point on, you will no longer on waters controlled by the Canal and River Trust. These are controlled by Bristol City Council. You will not see another moored boat now until you get into the harbour at Bristol, as they don't allow you to moor. In the past, Bristol has been overrun by overstayers, so they told them all that they would have to either pay or move. They all moved. At Neatham Lock, you moor up and go into the office to pay for your licence. For us, it was £59.50 for a 58-foot boat. Ouch. It's a 24-hour licence, and as it's now 5 o'clock, we wouldn't have much time to explore Bristol, as we still have another hour to go before we can moor up. And honestly, we're just knackered. This is the map of Bristol Harbour. It has all the phone numbers that you need. There are 3 different mooring options. We opted for the middle one, as the first one was next to a lot of bars and apparently was quite noisy. The middle option was great, 2 minutes walk away from the centre and relatively quiet. Third is quieter, but further away from the town. We cruised towards the basin and found a lovely spot across from SS Great Britain. We were up early the next morning and had a wander around Bristol. We've been to Bristol before in our motorhome, but by boat is better because you're right in the centre. I imagine most of these padlocks lasted longer than some of the romances. This pillar of remembrance was a lovely tribute, and we had a lovely walk around the park before it was back to the boat and back towards Bath and moving day. Then it was full reverse and time to head east along the Kennet and Avon towards Reading. The next week was taken up with helping our son and his fiancée move house, so the camera was put away. They took us for a lovely day out in the picturesque village of Lacock, famous for various movie locations, especially Harry Potter. Having now completed the whole of the Kennet and Avon, we can definitely confirm that this stretch towards Bradford-on-Avon is the best. It is absolutely stunning.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Does narrowboating get any better than this? I don't think so. On this stretch we cross back over two aqueducts, Dundas Aqueduct and Avon Aqueduct. Completed in 1810, Dundas Aqueduct was the first canal structure to be designated a Scheduled Ancient Monument in 1951. It was named after Charles Dundas, the first chairman of the Kinnerton Avon Canal Company. As we continue over this stunning aqueduct, we would like to take the opportunity to thank everybody for watching us on our travels throughout our beautiful country. Join us next week as we spend a lovely bank holiday weekend in Bradford-on-Avon on our journey back towards the River Thames. Thank you very much for watching.